So hello students, I'm back with the new video, the next part of this chapter. In the first chapter or in the first part of the video, we saw what is elasticity of demand curve, why it is important, and what are the different methods to find elasticity of any demand curve. This is the second part. We will see the further details. Let's start. Now the question arises, we saw in the first video, the elasticity is different at all the points on the demand curve. But is there any exception to it? The answer is yes. There are some exceptions. Let's see what are the exceptions. So demand curve, we will see some cases in which there is constant elasticity at all the points on the demand curve. The first case is infinite elasticity. The price is constant, but the quantity demanded is infinite at this prevailing price. The responsiveness of quantity demanded to this price level is infinite at all the is infinite. So that is why this is a case of constant elasticity. In the second case, there are different price levels, but the response of quantity demanded is not changing. It is a constant throughout. At this price level, the quantity demanded is same. At this price level, the quantity demanded is same. At all the price levels, the quantity demanded is the same. That is why this is also the case of constant elasticity. In the third case, there is unitary elasticity. This is the rectangular hyperbola. What is rectangular hyperbola? It is a curve under which all the rectangles are same. All the rectangles have same area. And from the expenditure method, total expenditure method, to find elasticity, we know that if the rectangles are same, that means the total expenditure is same at all the price levels. In this case, two different price levels. And we know if total expenditure stays same at different price level, that is a case of unitary elasticity. And that is why this is also the case of constant elasticity. Now we know that there are some exceptions in which there is a constant price elasticity at different points on the demand curve. So now we have to see one more method to find the price elasticity of any demand curve. But now the question arises, why do we need so many different methods to find the price elasticity? We have already done 3 methods. Why is the need of one another method? So let's try to understand why do we need one more method. So in previous methods, we calculated the price elasticity at any point on the demand curve. But the price elasticity at any point was not very important data for any entrepreneur. Let's try to understand it practically. What do we mean by the price elasticity at any point with the practical point of view? Now let's assume there is an entrepreneur. He knows the point elasticity of this demand curve. Now, with this, we mean he knows what will be the response of quantity demanded with at this price level or just minimal changes in this price level. अब उसको एक ही प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी मालूम है, तो उसको मालूम है कि अगर मैं प्राइस लेवल P से थोड़े बहुत चेंजेस करके एक अपने प्रोडक्ट को बेचूं तो व्हाट विल बी द रिस्पॉन्स ऑफ क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड. बट नाउ दिस इज नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डेटा. What is important data? Let's assume if he knows the price elasticity of this segment arc AC, अगर उसे AC की प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी मालूम हो जाएगी तो वो इतने कंसिडरेबल चेंजेस करके भी अपने क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड का क्या रिस्पॉन्स होगा वो जान सकता है. इन सम केसेस प्राइस में बहुत सारे चेंजेस करने पे भी क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड में कुछ ज्यादा चेंजेस नहीं देखे जाते इन सम केसेस। तो दिस इज अ प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस फॉर एनी एंटरप्रेन्योर टू नो द इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ एनी सेगमेंट ऑफ डिमांड कर्व, नॉट द पॉइंट। अगर वो पॉइंट की इलास्टिसिटी उसने कैलकुलेट कर भी ली तो वो बहुत मिनिमल चेंजेस के लिए एप्लीकेबल है, पर अगर उसे आर्क की इलास्टिसिटी पता लग गई तो वो एक डिफरेंट कंसिडरेबल चेंजेस करके प्राइस लेवल में उसकी इलास्टिसिटी उसे पता है, उसकी क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड का रिस्पॉन्स उसे पता है कि अगर मैं इतने प्राइस में चेंज करके अपना प्रोडक्ट बेचूं तो व्हाट विल बी द रिस्पॉन्स ऑफ क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड। सो दैट इज व्हाई this is important data for any entrepreneur, the price elasticity of any arc of any segment of demand curve. Okay, but now the problem is the percentage method that we covered in the previous video was calculating the price elasticity at any point on the demand curve. That is not valid, that is not worthy enough to calculate the price elasticity of any arc. That is why we have this arc elasticity method. There is no difference, no much difference. The arc elasticity method is the derivation from the percentage or proportionate method. What we have done here is, instead of this initial values of price and quantity demanded, we have shifted, we have changed it with the average change in quantity demanded or average change in price. With this, we can calculate the price elasticity of any arc. So here is one more important method, that is revenue method, to find the price elasticity at any point. Point to remember here is we use this method to calculate the price elasticity at any point on the demand curve. Revenue curves are very important in economics. We will read about them in upcoming chapters. So that is why we are deriving this point elasticity method into a revenue method, because revenue curves are very important in economics. Okay, firstly let's derive the formula of revenue method to find the price elasticity, then we will see what is it. Okay, so first let's understand the diagram. So this is the graph, this is average revenue curve, and always remember that average revenue curve is equals to demand curve in economics. In every chapter we will see that average revenue curve is equal to demand curve. Okay, and marginal revenue is always under the average revenue curve. Just crack it as it is in this chapter. In upcoming chapters I'm going to explain each and everything about the revenue curves, okay, in very detail. So do not worry about it, just crack it for just this chapter, that this is average revenue curve, that is demand curve, this is marginal revenue curve AN, this is marginal revenue curve. Now so this is average revenue, this is marginal revenue. We know to calculate the price elasticity at any point according to point method, point elasticity method, we have to divide lower portion by upper portion. Now, if we want to calculate at elasticity at point P, then it will be PB, that is lower portion, divided by PA, upper portion. Now, ED can from this we have write it as similar. Then we know, if you know little bit about the geometry, you could guess the triangles AEP and PMB are similar triangles, and we know the ratio of corresponding sides of similar triangles are always equal. So can we write PM by AE, corresponding sides ratio equal? Yes, we can write it like this. Now, the another thing to notice here is AE T and TPL are congruent triangles because this is a vertical opposite angles. Then we know vertical opposite angles are always equal. Then this is a common side, and the angle AET and LPT are 90-degree angles. So according to this rule, this is congruent. These two are congruent triangles, and we know the ratio of corresponding sides of congruent triangle are all also equal. So from here, can we write in place of AE, can we write PL? Let's see. So this is AE and this is PL. Yes, corresponding sides, ratio equal. We can write on place, so in place of AE, we can write PL. So PM is as it is. Can we write PL as PM minus ML? Yes, we can write. We can write in place of PL, we can write PM minus ML. Now, with your full focus, see what is PM? Can we say it is touching average revenue curve? Can we say PM is average revenue at point P? This is the same point at which we are calculating the elasticity. So PM here is average revenue at point P. So instead of PM, we are writing AR, average revenue. Now we also know that PL, we have written in place of PL, we have written PM minus LM, PM minus LM. So PM again is average revenue, and what is LM? LM, can we say LM is marginal revenue at point P because it is touching the marginal revenue curve? Yes, it is marginal revenue. So elasticity at point P will be average revenue at point P divided by average revenue at point P minus marginal revenue at point P. Now, after the concept of price elasticity, let's see what are the more detail in it. There can be two more cases of income elasticity and cross elasticity in economics. So the first one is income elasticity. What do we mean by income elasticity? Let's see. So here there are two parameters. One is income of the consumer and the second is quantity demanded. In income elasticity, we see what is the response of quantity demanded. What is a change in quantity demanded when income of the consumer changes? So in this, there is a positive relationship, unlike the price elasticity in which there was a inverse relationship. So this is a positive relationship. When income of the consumer increases, the quantity that he demands also increases. This is very common, very general thing. If your income is increasing, the quantity you like to buy, to purchase, to consume will also increase. So that is why this is a positive relationship. Another is cross elasticity of demand. What is cross elasticity? So in this, we study what is the relationship between the goods that are substitutes of each other. So if the price of good Y increases, that are substitutes, goods that are substitutes, that are related with each other. So if the price of the good Y increases, then the quantity demanded for good X will increase. Very general thing. If the two goods that are substitute of each other, if the price of one will increase, the quantity demanded of another will also increase. These are two more elasticities that we have had to learn in this chapter. Very easy, very simple concept. After learning all type of elasticities in economics, let's see what are the factors that determine price elasticity. What do we mean by determine? It means the factors that affect price elasticity of demand. Okay, let's see. The first one is nature of product or commodity. So there are three type of commodities that we have in our life. So the first one is necessities, the products that are necessities, that without them we do not have survival, so that are necessities of life. So you guys think if something or some product, without that product we do not have survival, so it will have inelastic demand. So if its price goes very high or very low, it will have a no effect on demand, because that are necessities, we need that product for our survival. The second one is comfort. If some product is just giving us comfort, or it's not important for our survival, so that will have unitary demand. So in most cases it has been seen that that kind of products have unitary elastic demand. The change in price will be seen in the quantity demanded with the same proportion. The third one is luxuries. The things similarly in luxuries type of products, we have a survival without it, so we can postpone it till indefinite time, or we do not need it for our survival, so it will have elastic demand. Its prices, the little bit change in their prices will cause a major change in the quantity demanded. So the second is postponement of use. Again, if we can postpone the use of any product for indefinite period of time, it will have elastic demand. So sudden change in their price, people can postpone its use, people can postpone its purchase. So it will have elastic demand. So the third one is income of the consumer. If income of the consumer is so high or so low, it will have no effect on demand of a product that he purchases. If he purchases certain quantity of products, he can purchase that with his high level of income. Or if his income is so low, it could create no impact on the quantity demanded. So the fourth one is habit. If some product is your addiction, if some product is your addiction, you cannot survive without it. Some people cannot survive without cigarettes. Without smoking, they cannot survive. So it will have inelastic demand. That is your addiction. You cannot survive without it. So its demand will be inelastic. You can change the price at any level, till any level. You could see that there is no change in demand. So the last one is price levels. If the commodity's price is so high, the little bit change in it could cause no change in the demand of that product. And if the price is so low, like the postcards, the charts, that little bit change in their price could cause no change in their quantity demand. So let's see what is importance of price elasticity. So far we have seen what is price elasticity, different definitions, different aspects of price elasticity. So let's see why we have done so much hard work to learn this concept. What is importance of price elasticity? So the first one is determination of price under monopoly. So let's assume there is a monopoly. You have freedom to change your price at any level. Can you change it at any level? Obviously not, because you have to consider the products that have elastic demand or the products that have inelastic demand. If the demand for any product is elastic, you cannot change price to such an extent. You know that there is an elastic demand. The people will decrease or will remove the use of that commodity. So if the demand is inelastic, then you can change your prices till any level. The second one is price discrimination. What do we mean by price discrimination? So the price discrimination is when an entrepreneur sell his product at different prices. So we can only do price discrimination when the price elasticity for different users is different for any product. If the price elasticity for some group of users is elastic, then you cannot change your price to such a level. But if the price elasticity for any group of consumers is inelastic, then you can change your price. You can do the price discrimination. So third one is advantage to finance minister. So let's assume you are finance minister. You want to levy tax to different kind of products. What you have to do is you have to keep in your mind what is the price elasticity of different products. If the price elasticity of any product is elastic, then you cannot levy more tax to that product, because people will stop using that commodity, or people will decrease their demand for that product. So you cannot levy much tax to that product. And if the price elasticity for any product is inelastic, then you can levy more tax to that product. So this is how the concept of price elasticity helps our finance ministers to levy the tax. So the fourth one is international trade. For example, you are an entrepreneur and you want to sell your product at different countries. So what you have to consider, or what you have to think in your mind is, if the price elasticity for your product at any country is elastic, then you can not increase your price much. But if the demand for your product at any country is inelastic, then you can raise your price levels till such an extent, to any extent. So the last one is nationalization. What is nationalization? Nationalization is a policy when government keeps some commodities or some industries under their control, or privatize the some industries. So what is the difference? Why, how they choose it? What kind of industries they have to keep under their control, or what kind of industries they can privatize? So the basic difference is, if any industry has inelastic demand, for example, electricity board, government produces electricity and sell it, but government cannot privatize the electricity board, because the demand for electricity is inelastic. That is very important for the survival of the people nowadays. They cannot stay without electricity. That is why the demand for electricity is inelastic, and government cannot privatize it, because any private owner can exploit the consumers by increasing the price, knowing that the demand is inelastic for the electricity. So these were the importance of price elasticity. Here we complete our chapter. Now I hope you know why the price elasticity concept was important, what were the practical applications of it. Thank you so much.